Good afternoon. It's August 1st, and we are in the Fig Greenhouse in southern Illinois. And today we're going to take a look at the shape of my big in-ground trees and see how they've growed, and talk about some things that I like and I don't like and things I want to change. This particular tree here is Brazilian XP. You've seen it in a video earlier in, I don't know, a couple days back, a week or so back, and I hadn't de-leafed it. I've got in here and de-leafed it now, and I've got to get in here. It's still got some of these branches in here like this I need to get off. I'm just going to take for cuttings and root them here pretty soon. But on this particular tree, on this end, I used a fork and went like that with it and then let them grow. My idea was I just let one ever so often, just like that, grow up. And I really should have cut these little ones off here, but you know, hindsight 2020, I know I need to do that next year and pay a little more better attention to that. But I don't really think you need two. I think one is enough. As you'll look back here, there's just one here going back this way. We're right at the end of the greenhouse. I only done one, and then I tried to see if I could get these branches to like one go each way every other one, and you can see it for the most part it done pretty good. You still got to get in here and thin some leaves out where it can get some light, but I really think that this is a lot better way to do it in this particular setting. I don't think you need to do a double fork in these greenhouses, I think. And we're going to move on down, and we're going to turn around here and look at another tree that I need to make. I got it formed right, but I need to make some changes as far as early pruning goes. Some stuff that I just need to, I don't need to leave on here. All these little things here, I should clean. They got to be cleaned out of here. I'm just going to take them out and root them. But as you can see here, I have just a single branch going each way, and that's what we need. I should have never let all of this, and you can see this is where I pruned it to last year. This is where this tree was pruned to last year, right here, and both of them. Here's the other one over here. I'm going to prune this all the way to the ground this year. And the only thing that's going to get left is this and its branches. I'll leave a couple nodes, you know, maybe cut it off here and here. That'll leave a couple nodes where some branches, and I'll probably just limit to one branch each one. But I'm going to cut these sides off. And that other side, it has several. If you can see, it has several here that need to, I should have never let any of this grow either. Now this center one's okay, that's growing up out of the center. That's perfectly fine, but these others, I need to just chop out of here. And they do have fruit on them. As you can see, looking up in the tree, it growed quite a bit before it set fruit, but it has fruit on up there, and it's all going to ripen. I get a nice long season. We've already been picking probably 2 weeks at this point. We started getting figs off of this around the 15th of July. So we've already been picking a good 2 weeks on this tree, and it's going to pick for 4 more pretty easy, I would say. So that's great. It has a nice long picking season, but I definitely am going to change the way this tree is shaped next year. And I'm going to do that to several others. Let's go on up through here and look at some more trees. Here we have cordon gigantina. I'm definitely going to take this side off this year and take this. This is okay. I don't particularly think a person should grow these on the ground like this. I think it hurts in the spring when you're waking them up because it's cooler here. And if these things are just this high off the ground they just have so much more temperature for them, and it ain't gonna matter in the winter. I'm gonna grow them and leave them like this, and these here will just be cut back to like right here this year. I'm probably gonna trim this big thing here back to about here, and I'm gonna take these side pieces off. I might cut this here off and leave this structure here so that can grow this way and this can grow that way, and then this can grow on out here. As you can see, it's almost 9 foot wide, but it has good fruit set, but the problem is it's not setting fruit till it gets way up there. I mean, it's got good fruit set, it just takes it forever. So I'm going to try to get it some more sun next year and try to help it along. Let's go over here, and this next one is cordon mutante. And it's on this one end, it's lower to the ground, but then comes on up. I like the way this tree is structured. I shouldn't have it this low. Like I said, it'd be better here, but this is fine. And then I'll just trim these off about right here. Leave 2, 3, whatever. And then it'll grow back from there. I'm definitely, once again, going to take these big sides off. Maybe I'll leave that. I'm gonna definitely take the one off on this side because it's way out here in the aisle. As you can see, I had to tie the branches up, and we go to the other side. I got the other side staked up with rebarb. It's just sticking way up here, and I need them to grow up this way. There's another one over there I got staked with rebarb. So it'd be nice just to trim these back and maybe get some more shoots growing out here at the bottom. So hopefully by cutting these plumb off, it'll do that. We'll find out next season. Let's go on up there and see what the rest of these is. You see, now I like the way this branch here comes out and meets, and it's more off the ground like it should be, and I'll eliminate this other side, get it off ground, get rid of it, get rid of these, and that's what'll be left, and I'll just leave a couple nodes here, and that'll be that. This is called a cordon mutante. And you can see the fruit set on it. It didn't grow quite as much as Gigantina before it set fruit. And we'll get some fruit, but it'll probably be September, I would think, when it's around the 1st of September when it starts ripening. It just needs a lot. It seems like it needs a lot more heat units and wants to grow and before it sets fruit. So we'll try it a little differently and see. You know, next year it'll be waking up, and this wood here will be, this is last year's growth and this is this year's growth, so it'll be in its 3rd year. So maybe that'll make a difference in how it fruits. This next tree, I think the main thing here is if I just took that center out and take these side shoots off, the rest of the form of the tree is good to go. As you can see, it has a nice low cordon, and I get by with, my thought is like these branches here, if these apical buds, I will not trim them. Like this one here, I'll probably leave this and probably cut this here off and leave this, but I'll probably take this whole branch here. This is last year's wood. This is where I pruned it to. I'll cut this off, and I'll cut these side pieces off. And then on that back side, these smaller branches here where they've got some lower apical buds, and then like that lower branch coming out right there. See, it has an apical bud on it. Right there, you're looking at the leaves. We'll definitely want to leave that on this YOLO bypass. I think maybe, seeing you got a couple branches here, it's got that, and there's got fruit on it. So I'm thinking that if I leave these branches like this with these apical buds, maybe we'll get a little earlier fruit set on this thing. It has fruit on it. It did finally set fruit. But I don't know how late it's going to be. I figure it'll be like the cordons. It'll be sometime in September before we start getting some fruit, unfortunately. And I think this is one of those that maybe needs to ripen in August. But we're going to keep trying on it because we will get some fruit, and it does have a kind of taking a look. It ain't got a grapefruit set on it. The cordons got way more fruit on them, but I think that I'm happy with it because it is fruiting, and it is kind of got an original flavor to it from the ones we've had off of it last year. But they was at the end of September, and that wasn't ideal weather, and they were okay. So I'm thinking we get the right weather. Maybe in a few years this one will be a good variety here. We'll turn around over here to this other one. And man, I've got this is Smith, and I've got it growing everywhere. But I will most likely kind of leave it in its ugly form and try to just grow. I'm going to cut a lot of this other stuff out of here, and then I will like pull this on, trim this and pull it down. I think that one over there is too low, so I may like bring this back, or I probably ideally I should take this branch I got right here in my hand and pull it over to that post and chop it back at the post, a little before the post, and cut the rest of this stuff off. I should start training this thing over like now. I mean, but it's training itself over there now. That's probably what I will do with this Smith this year, and then get rid of a lot of this ground structure. All of these pieces here, I'm going to try to, hopefully like this short one here, we'll leave it so we can maybe have a few apical buds. This tree still needs a lot of direction and work. I got it growing way too low in the back, on this end over here. I may try to pick another branch to grow that way and try to train this thing a little differently than what I've had it. I didn't do a very good job on this one at all. I kind of let some of these get away from me, and there's one that would, you could make a argument for it, but I want something a little thicker, a little bigger. I think this would be ideal here to pull it over this direction. And then maybe if I don't got nothing going this way, I'll leave those two lower branches out there like they are on that end and try to get these to grow up like they already are. It is fruited down here pretty good like that. So maybe we'll grow this in like that, and we'll try to change that in, and we won't lose our whole season on our Smith here. But a lot of these side branches, that definitely, right here at the base, that needs to be cleaned up and gotten out of here. Let's see what else is there we can look at. Let's walk up here to this gorgeous oak grease. Well, actually, let's look here. Let's go right in here. This is the coral black, and I like the way this is. This is perfect. It needs to get rid of these side branches. I'm okay with this. I probably don't need to let 4 branches grow on it. It would be fine with probably 1 or 2, like this one and this one. Maybe a 3rd one in the middle and get rid of these 2. This has all got a good start up through there, and we're gonna have, I'd say, this branch up through here. You can see these. It's got a lot of branches, so and some of them's gonna leave some apicals on it. So that's really good. I think this coral black, and you can see the fruit set on this thing is phenomenal. It's just now starting to ripen. So this is a very good candidate for a commercial variety. It has a really good flavor. I like this end of this, and I hope by cutting this branch here out, we'll cut these back, this one off, and I'll probably leave a nubbin of that so it can. You can see right there. There's a little what might be a breva for next season trying to form. I don't know if you can see it, or it may just be a leaf node, but nonetheless, no, it feels like a fruit forming. But so we'll leave that if it's still there. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll find out. But maybe try to get this whole branch here more exposed to light and get some side branching growing on it and keep the rest of this garbage cut off. And this tree has a nice form. I'm pretty satisfied with it, other than the things that I do need to change. All right, let's go up here and look at this counterpart gorgeous oak grease. Yeah. This might be a little hard to get to. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, we're down inside the gorgeous oak grease, and it definitely needs some work too. I've done kind of a four shooter. That big long branch there, and then this middle branch. I'm going to leave this middle branch, and I'm going to get rid of that long side shoot over there. I don't really, I don't like that design. I really think the single one each way is the best in here. It'll help contain the trees some more and give me a little more room for sure. And I may change my mind later and grow them back bigger or add another branch. This one here, I don't know. I almost would need to pull another branch over to even change this in. But I think for next year, I'm just going to prune it and try to get a few single shoots up here. Here's some that I might keep one of these for an apical, and another one of these. I definitely want to keep some of these where I have some of these apical buds on that. Even if the branch is small like that, I think it'll just go and grow right on next year and maybe get some fruit on it. I don't know. Maybe I'm better off to cut it back right there and let it re-sprout from there. But we're going to do a combination of both and find out what works best, what fruit's best. And it may even depend on the varieties. You know, you may be able to do that on some varieties, and like Super Red Hybrid. I guarantee if you list something like that on Super Red Hybrid, it's going to fruit. That's where you're going to be picking fruit first next year. Just because it insanely fruits. And it wants to fruit on every little node and branch that it can find. It fruits like crazy. So it's not going to really matter on it. But some of these others kind of matters. So we'll find out. Which one is that there? That is a LSU. Espalier. It's got craziness going on with it. It does have some correct branching, but the rest of this garbage I need to keep cut off of it, and I'll get cut off of it this year, and next year it won't be quite as wide, and I'll try to keep the leaves out and get it more sun, and it should fruit faster. Should fruit a lot faster. Now, if we can get down here to the white Madeira number 1, you will see that it's a lot outside of it just needing the side wood took off of it. It, for the most part, is correct. And it's growing correct. This is what you want. See all these side shoot limbs coming off? Look at all the fruit on them. That's the way you really want them to grow. These things that come up from the bottom like this, they grow forever before they ever shoot or ever fruit. I mean, you can come right on up there and look before you get, that's their first fruit. I haven't picked no fruit on this tree yet. So it's got good fruit set on it, but they're later to fruit that way. So by getting them more in a shape like this, like this limb is here, and my other limb on the other end of this tree is. This is perfect, and in the middle of this tree is crappy. And I definitely need to clean the middle of them up, and it'll make a difference the way they look next season. But there's what your low cordons should look like in here if I would just keep all this other side shoot stuff that's come on and just trim them things off there. Just trim like all of this right here. Don't even let it grow. Let maybe that one grow. It's got an apical, let it grow. But if it ain't got an apical, if it starts from the ground, starts coming up, or nah, get rid of it. And I think on out there, I like the way that is. I mean, you look, those limbs coming off there, they got pretty good fruit set on them. So, well, there's a look inside of my some of my biggest fruiting trees. I hope that what I'm looking at and talking about will also help somebody and if somebody make some of the mistakes that I've made on these and just kind of let them grow. But I've also been just observing them, and I kind of got this main structure I wanted, and I knew I can always cut this stuff off and get them pruned to where I wanted them. So we're going to next season try to work closer to getting them in a little better form as they grow. And I'm also going to work on putting in some overhead wire trellis, I think, this winter if I can find the time. That way if I need to tie any shoots up, I don't have to build wood trellises. I can just take a tomato clip into the overhead wire and run a string to it. Pretty simple, and then it'll just trellis it to the ceiling, and I don't have to continually chase it. I can just tie it to that. So there's a look at what my thoughts are and what's going on in the fig greenhouse. I hope somebody takes something from it, and we all get to learn a little something from this. So thanks for watching.